Draw Every Day with JJK.
Hello and welcome to Formal Friday here on Draw Every Day with JJK. We are getting dressed up to sit at our drafting table and make some art. And today we are celebrating the everyday heroes in our lives. So I threw out something for the grown-ups on my social media to get ideas from you, the viewing artists. And also, by the way, people keep sending me this amazing art. Let's see. I received art from India. I received art from Maine. All over the country, all over the globe. Thank you for watching. So you might know me from my Lunch Lady books. And in the Lunch Lady books, we have an everyday, unseemingly suspicious lunch lady, but she's secretly a crime fighter. And she's really powerful. And she has fish-tick nunchucks. And she defeats evil robots and all of these nefarious villains. So I thought that, I keep thinking about the lunch ladies and how they work so hard, and the lunch dudes. I don't want to leave the lunch dudes out. Work so hard to feed kids every single day. And they haven't stopped. Every single day they're out there feeding kids, and it's amazing. And so I've created a character that's a lunch lady who's a superhero. I reached out to all of the grown-ups on the social media to get some ideas. We're going to invent some everyday heroes, turn them into superheroes, and we're going to use some of the lessons we learned about color earlier in the week. Okay. Kala says, a bike repairman. He can hammer and fix everything as a superpower. Penny says, a garbage man, a fire truck hose that is actually a snake that attacks evildoers. Jack says a firefighter that sprays fire instead of water. Whoa. Jake says a construction worker with super speed to build things fast and a magic tool belt with unlimited materials for all shapes and sizes. Let's see. A school crossing guard who can stop traffic with her mind. Ooh. A painter who can make their painting come to life. Haven suggests a teacher who can use a paintbrush and the power to shapeshift. Frankie suggests a scientist with explosive beakers to blow up myths. Ooh, that's great. We need to defeat some myths right now for sure. Posey says a teacher with gills so they can teach underwater. There might be a school of fish. That was a really bad joke. I apologize for that. It was terrible. Putnam says, a grocery store clerk with super hearing power that hears what people want and has a gadget that can teleport stuff to people in their house. That would be super handy right now. Nate says, a parent with invisibility laser cannon. Where was I? Mackenzie says, a police officer that can fly. Paige has an artist with a life-creating paintbrush. Whatever they paint comes to life. Pra says a doctor healing with one touch. A mechanic to lift a truck without a jack. Amari suggests a cashier with a slime shooter. Let's see. Someone suggested a nurse with super medical bag. One said a mom with a super minivan with gadgets. I like that. Yeah. A youngest, a cat with emotional superpowers. Let's see, who's a doctor with immediate healing and teleportation powers. A gadget is a magic grabber that reaches really far and can grab a doctor office from anywhere in the world. Yanni, age 9, a pizza delivery person that has super stretchy body powers and his car gets supersonic speed. Rory suggests a grocery store. Toilet paper shelf stalker. His gadget is a price checker blaster. His power is telekinesis. He moves toilet paper with his mind. That is something that we need right now in our lives. Okay, someone else suggested a laser teddy bear, a receptionist, shop assistant, super strength mind reading, a custom 2D and 3D animation for any mission, a mom with super hugs, a soccer pug. All right, let's get to work. I'm going to, again, today I'm going to be drawing on my iPad. And this weekend, I'm going to be setting up some more lighting and tech. Next week is the start of a 2-week thing where we are doing Star Wars themed episode in support of my latest Jedi Academy book. I'm going to show it to you real quick. Again there, Jedi Academy, At Last Jedi. And I have some really fun guests lined up that are drawing Star Wars and maybe are even in the Star Wars movie. And but either way, though, I do like drawing on my iPad. You know, this doesn't solve the problems for me. It is just another tool. Okay, so let's start. I'm going to start with, you know, I have a friend. Her name is Jane, and she manages a grocery store right now, and she's working incredibly hard to lead her team. And so I'm going to draw a superhero character in honor of my friend Jane, because a few of you suggested folks who work at a grocery store. So remember, I am going to find my shapes. I'm going to give this superhero grocery store manager a wide, powerful stance. And let's see here. Now, I'm going to figure out where the gaze is going to go. Just remember that plus sign that you put over the sphere. And facial features. Vest, grocery store vest. Gonna have those sleeves rolled up. She means business. And oh, you know what I'm gonna do? Someone said telekinesis. Let's give Jane telekinesis. That means that you can move things with your mind. We're gonna have Jane, the superhero grocery manager, going like this to move toilet paper and supplies, some canned goods, some apples, some fruit. All right, now that I did my pencil sketch, I'm going to ink this in. So I'm going to get some ink, an ink brush, and on a separate layer now. Oop, that's a way big brush. I'm gonna make that brush much smaller. All right, and I'm going to draw in the line work there. Now, I'm not working from photo reference I'm not of Jane, so I'm using my memory. So this is a character inspired by my friend Jane, whose family watches the show while Jane is hard at work keeping the grocery store open so people can get their food. Little name tag right there. Right. And some quick lines here for the groceries. There's some canned goods. Some rolls of toilet paper. Let's see, bananas. Why not a bag of cookies? It's a whole bag of cookies. I tend to be eating Oreos by the sleeve these days. All right, let me erase the layer with pencils. Get a layer for color. Okay, so let's talk about what we talked about earlier. Let's talk about warm versus cold colors. I'm going to pick my watercolor here. All right. Brush size, we're done. I'm going to pick a warm color to color in Jane. superhero grocery manager. So, and I'm gonna make this, let's go with some oranges. And I'm just going to put in a few washes of color there. And I'm going to choose another warm color for all of these groceries. Even though they're not all yellow, I'm just trying to be quick about this here. Now in the background, I'm going to lay out a cold color. Remember, if it's a cold color, it'll push back. If it's a warm color, it'll come forward. So let's choose a blue color like that, okay? And make that a bigger brush. Do you see how that makes that all pop? Warm color is making the character come forward. The cold background is keeping that background in the distance. Now I'm going to give some motion lines. We talked about motion lines in an earlier episode to show that telekinesis power. Let me come back in here. I would like to make the background a little bit more blue behind those motion lines, those telekinesis lines. There, so they really pop again. Now, let's put some motion lines onto the food and the groceries. And that shows that these objects are not standing still. And why don't I sign it too? I'll send that to Jane after her family watches the show. Yeah. Hi Deborah and Max, by the way. Max is always sending in these awesome pigs. So Deborah and Max, thanks for watching while Jane is out there working so hard. Right. Now, somebody also suggested a nurse. And I have a friend, Angela, who is a nurse, and she's working so hard. And she sent me some photos of her at work, and she's got her protective gear on. Still has flawless eyebrows. She is working hard and still has perfectly put together eyebrows. So I'm going to use that feature in this nurse superhero. So again, let's find our lines. Use that plus sign again. Make that a little bit smaller. Again, I didn't plan for the whole body there. Okay. Now, it's gonna be a superhero nurse is gonna be wearing some scrubs. Kids, you could ask your parents to sing the TLC song to you, because I'm sure most people that are my age are suddenly don't want no scrubs. Scrub is dooba-dooba-dooba-doo. Passenger side of best friend's ride. Okay, and so the nurse had, how about, someone suggested the nurse could have a bag of super supplies. How about this? How about like a healing power? This nurse has a healing power. Get those protective gloves too. Okay, now let me take another layer for the ink. Okay. So here we have the superhero nurse. has perfectly groomed eyebrows, despite working 12-hour days. Right. I'm gonna have superhero nurse Angela with her hair pulled back. And now, you know what? I'm not satisfied with the proportions of the head to the body. Remember we were talking about that in an earlier session, so I'm gonna make that head be a little bit bigger. One of the huge advantages of working digitally is you can do stuff like that. Can't do that when you're working with traditional media. Nurses have their little tags. Don't like that line. Sometimes when I have too much coffee in the morning, maybe grown-ups can identify with that, I don't have the smoothest lines. And I think today I might be just a little bit over caffeinated. Okay. Now let me come in, erase the pencil marks. Now let's think about the color. Do you remember we also talked about complementary colors? When there are opposite colors. So let's use opposite colors to show the character versus their superpower. So let's see, how about, what did we use last time? Blues. Why don't we take purple? Okay, and I'm going to have some purple healing powers coming forth from the nurse Angela's hands. The opposite of purple is yellow, and let me put in some yellow washes. See what those opposite colors. It ended up being a warm and cold color thing too. I'm throwing a little bit of an orange in there too. A little bit hint of a shadow, even though it's yellow and purple. There we go. Awesome. Pretty happy with that one too. Okay. Finally, somebody said police officer, and I'm thinking of my buddy Corey, who I've been in touch with quite a bit, who is he's a police officer in Boston, and granted, I named a character after Corey in Platypus Police Squad, but when somebody suggested the police officer could fly, it made me think of my friend Corey, which kind of made me giggle a little bit. So let's draw superhero Officer Corey flying through the sky. Okay, so let me grab the right pencil. Okay, find my circles, the head, outstretched hand to say like I'm flying. Universal sign in comics, it says I'm flying. Now remember we're talking about body language too, and I'm going to make this a very dynamic pose. Alright, let me find my lines here. I get a great text message from Corey's wife, Bree, the other day. She's also a superhero nurse, And Corey has been really into watching sumo wrestling recently. And I often Photoshop funny things for my friends. And she said, Bree texted me and said, is there any way you could Photoshop Corey's head onto a sumo wrestler? And I said, Bree, that would bring me immense joy to Photoshop Corey's face on a sumo wrestler. I'm gonna make him smiling because Corey loves helping people, which is why he got into that business in the first place, being a first responder. Oh, you know what? Corey is also a huge fan of Run DMC. So let me give him an Adidas tracksuit over his uniform. He has always been a huge fan of rap and hip hop, now especially old school hip hop, which is, you know, vast really. Where's my ink? Where's my ink? Okay, ink. Okay, now I'm going to ink in sumo wrestler, tracksuit, officer, superhero Corey. So if you have a nurse, or if you have a nurse in your life, a doctor in your life, if you have a police officer in your life, if you have someone in your life who works at a grocery store or another essential service, think about drawing them as a superhero. And what would their superpowers be? Be interested in seeing what you come up with. I'm thinking too about all of those teachers who are working so hard to continue their instruction. And of course, I am thinking about the lunch ladies and the lunch dudes. All right, let's think about color now. I'm going to do this. I'm going to put a blue sky in the background to establish to the viewer that this is happening in the sky. My iPad keeps wanting me to update my settings. I don't want to update my settings right now. Can't you see, iPad, that I'm busy? Let's see here. I'm gonna paint some clouds in there. Now, if I wanted to make this feel like more of a peaceful scene, I might choose a color that's next to the one I use on the color wheel. So if I used blue, if I used purple or green, that would be a pretty harmonious image. Let me choose green, and I'll put in some washes of green in here. Which works out too because Corey also used to really like House of Pain. Those of you from the 90s might remember House of Pain from Jump Around and other such Irish hip-hop hits. Let's see, okay, there's House of Pain, Super Officer Corey, Jump Around. Okay, motion lines. This is a great moment for us to use some motion lines. Let me get maybe be a bright yellow. Let me make that a little bit bigger. Now you can feel that movement and that momentum of that character flying through the air. Well, that was a ton of fun. I love these brainstorming sessions. We'll do it again next Friday, but of course it'll be Star Wars themed. Now let's check in for the pugs. It's time for Pug Cam.
Who's a good boy? Frankie's a good boy. Frankie's a good boy who needs a pug bath. We need to give this guy a pug bath. He's a little stinky right now, but we still love him so much, even though he's a crusty pug right now. Yum, nom, 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 nom.
All right, pugs, thank you for all that you do to make me happy and make the viewers happy too. Now it's Friday, which also means I bring in my 3-year-old, and there's no knowing how he's going to behave. Look, he has behaved so well every single Friday. I'm amazed. I did not think this would go so well. Inevitably, he is going to have a crazy 3-year-old breakdown on this show. So it's now time for...
Story time with oppositional 3-year-old.
No! Oh!
Well, welcome back, Xavier, and by popular demand, Gina Krosoczka is here. People like Kevin Bell and Bill and Judy sent in their requests to hear more from Gina. Xavier, how are you doing today? Oh, yeah, see, we're close to lunchtime. I knew that we would get this side of Xavier for you. So today, we're going to read, as a throwback edition, I suppose, on a Friday, Baghead. Baghead was published in 2002, and for all of my librarian friends who've been following me all along, you'll recognize this original edition that had a paper bag cover with 2 holes cut out for the eyes. Specifically, hello to my friends in Cypress Fairbanks in Houston, Texas. So Gina's going to read.
It's going to be
something. It's going to
be magical.
And then I'm going to draw a Baghead. Xavier, do you want to show Mommy the secret underneath the Baghead? Yeah. There's a secret underneath there. Here, I'll help you. There it is. There's the secret. Okay. So Mommy will read while I draw, and then Xavier can add to my art. Okay?
Okay. All right, let's do this. All right. I love this book. Starting again at the end papers, right? We see a hand. Someone is emptying the groceries. And there's some groceries. Oh, and there's some scissors. And it looks like someone may have cut out a face from the paper bag. I don't know. On Wednesday morning, Josh had an idea. A very big idea. A very brown idea. A very big, brown bag idea. Josh thought it was a good idea. His mother did not. You can't eat breakfast with a paper bag on your head, she said. What Josh did? He piled a forkful of scrambled eggs into his mouth and didn't leave a crumb on his plate. Would you be able to do that? Yeah.
Let me do that.
Yeah, you want to do that? Maybe we could try that for breakfast tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay. His bus driver, Mrs. Boyle, named after Auntie Lynn, opened the door and stared at him. "You crazy kid! You can't go to school like that!" she exclaimed.
Oh, and we should point out to the readers that in Lunch Lady and the Bake Sale Bandit, I needed a bus driver.
Get
so
out
it's
town.
You didn't know that?
No.
Yeah, it's the same design, same. I believe I kept the name as bus driver Boyle. Yeah, Brenda Boyle.
Brenda.
Brenda
All
Boyle.
right.
Instead of Lynn.
90210. But Josh climbed on the bus and rode to school. His teacher, Mr. Tucker, from Sarah Tucker.
Sarah Tucker. Hi, Sarah Tucker.
Hi, Sarah
Down
Tucker.
in West Virginia.
Wasn't
And Ollie.
amused. Don't tell me you forgot your book report, he said. Josh didn't. He stood in front of the class and told them about a boy who met a giant slug.
I don't have that book on hand, but that was a book that I had written that wasn't published yet. I don't have a copy right
Which
here.
I love.
We'll read that another week.
His soccer coach, Mrs. O'Neill, frowned. That's Auntie Holly? Auntie Holly? How do you plan to play like that? She demanded. I don't think Auntie Holly's ever demanded anything. With my feet, said Josh, and he scored 3 goals. Good job, Josh. His dad picked him up after the game. Was it crazy hat day at school, he asked. Nope, said Josh. What do you think? What do you think it was? At dinner, his mother didn't say anything. Neither did his brother or his dad. Why are you wearing a bag, Josh? His little sister asked. Because I tried to cut my own hair. Which you would never, ever, ever do, right? No. No. On Thursday morning, Josh's sister had an idea. A very cool idea. A very spiky idea. A very cool, spiky, mega hole gel idea. Is that it?
Yeah, and look, who's that? Who's that? Here's that young guy right there.
I don't know.
You recognize that?
I don't know.
That's me.
He's got 90s Jinkos
I've
on.
got 90s Jankos. Yeah.
That with
And I have a bag. That photo was taken in 2001. So, yeah. Yeah, look how young. Look at
They're both
what the ravage of fatherhood did to
There's
me.
both of them with
Yeah,
them.
both of them right there. Well, Xavier, would you like to add on to this drawing? Okay. All right.
I'm gonna take in blue.
Sorry, I didn't know
and
your
white.
book was done. I kind of haven't read
You
it.
haven't read in a while. I know it's okay. I haven't read either. Well, that's it. Thanks, doll. I want to thank Gina for coming up on. You have to understand that Gina does not like getting in front of a camera, but she is doing that for you, viewers, specifically for pals who encourage her. And Xavier, thank you for coming on the show.
I'm not done.
You're not done. No, I wasn't insinuating that you were done. I was just saying thank you. Okay. And so while Xavier draws that, I again want to thank you. We're at the end of week 4 of doing this. YouTube has all of these different calculations. I don't think I told you this yet, G, but you can look and see all of these different analytics. But Draw Every Day has been watched for a total of 2 million minutes.
Whoa.
So that means for 2 million minutes, people out there have been watching and
I
drawing.
don't think I've been alive that long.
Yeah, that's like 4 years, 2 million minutes. Yeah, I did the math, something like that. Yeah, you're older than 4. This is glad it's not math with every day. Math every day with
Thank
JJK.
you for allowing me to be on the screen.
So listen, keep watching. We're gonna keep making the show. The next 2 weeks will be all Star Wars themed. We're going to be talking about Jedi Academy, the final Jedi Academy, all of the Jedi Academy that came before it. I have 2 weeks worth of Star Wars guests who have made Star Wars books and have been in a movie or 2. And yeah, so keep drawing. Grown-ups, check out my website, studiojjk.com, to see how you can find out how to submit your kids' art. I've been so inspired by all of the art that has come in. And check
really
out.
fun to
It's
watch.
been awesome every day. It really lifts us up.
Does.
It really lifts our
It
spirits.
really does. We love it. We love it.
So have a great weekend, everybody.
Please click.